started recording, and I have unpinned myself, and I'm pinning Agalya. So, Agalya, on
Thank
you,
you.
you have
Thank
your
you.
audience.
Yeah, that was a generous introduction, really, and thank you so much for it. Can everyone see my screen right now? Okay.
Yes, Agalya, we
Yes,
can see your
Piyush.
screen.
Yes.
And
Okay.
uh,
Great. So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for being here. And today I'm going to talk about collaborative leadership. And here we are going to talk about two different aspects of it. One is the leadership and building leadership techniques. And how could you incorporate visuals, or how could you incorporate the process of visuals into getting there? Those are the two things. Uh, so, a quick introduction about me. I'm a visual thinker, a graphic recorder, and a graphic facilitator. So I started my career as a public relations executive, I have to say. And then I switched into branding and later into marketing. I did a little bit of marketing. And for the past 11 years, I've been doing more of, I've started as a scribe. When I came into this graphic facilitation perspective, having understood its perspective, because I started as a scribe to like 10, 11 years before. And after which it was more of sensing how visual thinking happens, how to get hold of conversations into graphics. And one key thing that I identified is visual thinking is, or graphic recording specifically as a tool. When you collaborate, when as a organizer you are, or as a participant you are, or in a group you are, individual or in a group, it gives you the perspective of others, and it also helps you to give the perspective of yourself to the whole community. So this is more of a wall where perspectives are shared, and it is from different people, and collectively ownership is taken. And that is where places like Accelerated Solutions Environment, or work ethics, or KPMG has its own experience zone, PwC has its own experience zone. I've been working with all of them, and I do specifically this kind of design thinking workshops. And I explored myself as a process facilitator also, and a facilitator. I am more into session designing also. Um, and I do a lot of mind mapping and brainstorming sessions in industries like technology, infrastructure, consultation, and mostly academics. That's my forte. And quickly jumping into when Piyush said founder of Noun and Verb, what is this Noun and Verb all about? The reason for having that name itself is noun stands for people and verb stands for action. Any facilitation deals with a person or group of people and what they wanted to act upon. The noun and verb is all about that. It's a facilitation zone which does graphic and process facilitation. It does a lot of session designing, collaborative thinking, collaborative decision making, which is equally the same. So you can follow me at these handles if you want to get in touch with me. And stepping, this is about me, and I'm going to quickly come into the chat to see. I want you to answer one question, because there's a lot of people here. I don't know how many of you are already professionals by visuals, who are taking visual as their own practice, and who are somewhere in between. So there you can say B. So how many of you are V? How many of you are in between? That is B. And how many of you are NVP? That is non-visual practitioners. This is your beginning to start this practice. Okay, someone is putting it in the screen. Thank you so much. If you have access to my screen, please do it, or you can also say it in the chat. So I will get to know you better as participants. So I can. Okay, I have non-visual practitioners. I have visual practitioners. Very B. Yes, great. Yes, NVP in between. NVP we. Okay, in between abdominal VP. Thank you, Ashok. All right, all right. Okay. You can raise poll too to check the percentage. Uh, I don't want the exact percentage, Shruti. It's just for me to understand. I'm just giving like 30 seconds to for people to just put in their mark. MVP. Great, great, great. Perfect. So yeah, thank you everyone. So mostly in the chat, I saw non-visual practitioners, and even here on the screen, I see most of them. I think it's a combination, and I'm considering 50% are non-visual practitioners, and like some other 50% lies between visual practice and B, that is in between. They are not yet a visual practitioner, but have been practicing it in some or the other grounds. Thanks for the hand and a lot of heart and the stars and the tick. Thank you guys. Okay, great. Okay, it's still going on. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I just understand I might have to do a little bit of what visual thinking is for the starters who have no awareness about it, and then go further. Okay, thanks for the heart. Thank you. I'm going to the next screen. So let's hold the pens for a minute, and we will be having a lot of activities to do with that pen. So just let's wait for some time. Oh, okay. Just a minute. I can see if I can erase. Piyush, is there a way to, take these off? They're on
Hi,
my
Agalya.
screen. Yeah, these are in my screen. I think they're going to keep coming
Uh,
all the screens if I'm not wrong. Is there any way to take this off?
Agalya, you can just, if you can see an annotation bar there, the last option is delete. There's a bin there, last, clear.
Okay, I see annotation, yes.
Yeah, yeah, just at the annotation bar end, there's a clear just before save.
Oh, I just stop sharing my screen. Someone
In
else.
the annotation bar itself.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No
I think
worries.
it's Allah, right? Thank you. All right. Okay. So a basic visual thinking deals with these three things. I would say the red spot, that is the sweet spot, because that's where mind mapping happens. And most of non-visual practitioners have this idea that visuals are for creative people only. And visual thinking, it is not just creative, since it has thinking, it has strategy and analytics also as a part of them. Let's say I'm thinking of making a cake. Okay. And yes, there is a cake. So if this is the creative process that I wanted to do, basically, in order to get there, what I would need from the strategy point of view is equipments and ingredients in order to make that. Basically, the resources, when you're thinking something creative, what is the resources that you would need in order to make it? And then comes the analytics part. Analytics parts are more like fragmented, which says like 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, and how do you bake the cake? And in what centigrade would you do it? Is it a sponge cake? In that case, what is the centigrade Celsius that you will do it? So mind mapping is a combination of creative strategy and analytics, all three put together. And as a definition, visual thinking is a way to organize your thoughts and improve your ability to communicate. It is also about tools. When you have an internal thinking process, how do you externally show it? And in order to just put those thoughts, just which is not yours, and also show it to someone else, that is all visual thinking starts from. How to simplify a complex problem and how to show that to people. The benefits here, as you see, for a group, it solves problem. It helps in collaboration in order to develop new products and services, and it makes meetings more efficient. And as an individual, it makes you a better listener. It makes you more efficient in communication. It activates your brain so much that the memory retention power becomes more. And one thing that is not here in this case that I would want to say is, as an individual, we understand what we see more than what we hear. We understand what we see more than what we hear. And for a group, it is just a swap. People understand what they see, or people understand what you show rather than what you say. So how seeing works for us, exactly showing works for them. So as an individual, we see things and we retain it. As groups, you have to show them what it is necessarily, so that they understand things better, or they might equally have some perspectives about the same product or the service or a project. So for groups, that's how it works. These are basics, but where exactly is it applied? That is like why having visual thinking. It's mostly for retaining memory, which we spoke, and engagement when you share it with someone, and together when you want to attain a visual goal and organize those thought process into tools and ideas, bucket them into specific of what belongs where, and not just bucket them but also synthesize them, just like arranging the puzzle. How do you synthesize and create that picture? How does that picture bring some clarity? How a complex thought gets simplified on the process? And any visual thinker will say this. In fact, Piyush will definitely agree with me more. We don't learn too many languages because visuals are our language, and it is a very common language that anyone can understand. And when I say language, and whatever you see, that's not all of what visual thinking. Even the arrow mark that points to say go this way is, some kind of visual application is up there. In order to in before the rooms, when you see some kind of icons, let's say restaurants have a fork and a plate, or restaurants have men and women, everything is related to that. And collaboration also is more important. I mean, collaboration also deals with visual thinking. I think, Purnima, you've raised your hand. I would like to know what. You can talk. Hi, Purnima. Karthik. Purnima? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
All right. Okay. So if you want to raise your hand, it means like I will stop a bit because I see the notification here. I'll stop a bit and you can ask me a question. I'll hold for it. All right. That's about visual thinking. This is basically, we are giving it for non-visual practitioners to understand things better. But the topic comes like leadership in visualization. What does leadership and visualization have to do? How does that, it is related? And what is being a better leader and what is being a better visualizer? And how visualizing is more a trait and a skill to improve your leadership. That is the concept that we are going to see throughout the next 1 hour. Visualize the big picture. It is important for any leader to visualize that big picture, and visualization helps you to do that. There are techniques that we will be talking in some time. And simplicity behind complexity. So like we already said, it helps you bring that clarity, and there might be hundreds of ideas, and it can be just 2 or 3 objectives that if you tackle better, it will become more simplified. Or most of your problem are all from that one root cause or 1 or 2 root cause. If you attain to that, you might be able to solve the next 15 or 20 problems that links to it. So simplicity behind complexity. As a leader, we might have to do this, and visualization helps us do it. And the other part is how parts are connected with one another, how puzzles are connected with one another. In order to create a big picture, how do you connect one with another? How do you connect the dots together? And not just that, how do you connect them in multiple ways? There is not just one way of doing things. There is no just right or wrong way of one right or one wrong way of doing things. There is a lot many things happen in the gray area. And as leaders, we all understand in some point, there are multiple ways. If not a plan A, then a plan B. So how do we see just not one side of it, but also perspectives of it? How do we not just connect it one way, but also the other way? So visualization helps us do all these comparatively better. And what are the techniques that we can actually look at in order to do this? First thing I would say is storyboards. Any storyteller is a good leader, and anyone who says a story very fluently or who is able to make up that story very fluently is a very good leader. And let's say, when Martin Luther King said, I have a vision, he didn't say, I have a plan or I have a strategy. He said, I have a vision, and he built it as a story. In most of the speeches, if you have seen, in that particular speech, if you have seen, he would have just made you picturize what you're saying. He would have made you see what he has thought. So storyboarding is basically comes from storytelling. So how do you storyboard things? How do you put that concentration on one subject, and how does that subject develops into or vibrates into others? The first is storyboarding. And okay, now we've got the story. How do we reach there? There is a starting point, there is an end point. How do we reach? That's the roadmap. And certain mental models. Enough, okay, we have set roadmaps. Now, how are we going to actually reach them? There we need a lot of mental models, process, structures, a little complex kind of visualization. And then finally, metaphors. Metaphors are actually the big picture. They are actually the most big picture which has vision in it. Starting from storyboarding, and I'm going to start it very simple. Though I gave complex example, I'm going to start it very simple. Storyboarding is breaking things into scenes. Scenes, what happened one after the other. And I will start with a very simple image of an apple in a plate. There is an apple in a plate. That is the first scene. And an apple is cut into pieces. The second scene is an apple is cut into pieces. And the plate is empty. So if I put this as a structure, all you would see is, okay, there was apple. And yes, this apple is cut into pieces. And someone has ate it. So the plate is empty. And there is the other way of seeing it. There is the other way of storyboarding it. There's an apple in the plate. It's been bitten by someone. And yeah, here you see flies around the apple. Maybe it's rotten, or maybe nobody has touched it after that. That's the other story to it. There's no just one story, there is another story to it. And the other story is, yes, there is an apple in a plate, and there are other fruits also kept around it. And it's all kept in a table. Okay, it's going to be served for a feast. So the way I can conclude not just the first story, someone has ate it, the second story can even go like, there is an apple, it's been bitten, and there were flies around it. Someone has ate it, and it could have even been a poisonous apple that someone died. A way of seeing it. Or there is an apple in a plate, there are a lot of fruits around it, and it is served in a feast, and the family is having a very good time. How do you storyboard is keep one subject, one constant subject in place, and how do you break that subject? How do you make that subject say that story? And this subject could be you when it is your storyboard. It could be your product. When, let's say, if I have a phone and that is my story, what is this phone going to do? What are the features like? If I have a water bottle, what is that features like? Where all it is used, and how people become comfortable. Is it a flask? Is it going to have both hot and cold water? Storyboard is with the subject, and the subject necessarily needn't be you. The subject necessarily needn't be your brand. It could be even something as an icon. It can even be something as a symbol. That it depends on how you want to frame it. So being this as a first structure, just take a paper and a pen, and this, from storyboard to roadmap, all the 4 techniques we are going to actually build throughout this day, throughout, let's say, in an hour. We're going to build it. Let's say, have a paper, just have this subject that you were thinking that you have to work on, or this idea that you think that you have to work on, and make a little bit of sketch in pieces. It needn't be a clear diagram. It could be just stick figures. Or for people who are still not used to handling paper and pen, it can even be something like, clouds and have something written in it. But give a structure to it. What is that subject, and how is it going to get involved in your story? Like, let's say 3 minutes. Let's take 3 minutes now, and we will work on this. Take a paper and a pen and work on the storyboard. If there is any question, I'm going to start watching the chat. Do post your questions. Okay, how to create a storyboard? Draw or use software tools? Right now we are going to draw. Anything starts from hand, so let's draw. Sorry, please explain the activity. Can you give an example? Missed the assignment. All right. So I'm going to repeat the storyboarding once again, everyone, for all those who have missed. I'm just saying, keep a subject that you want to work on. It could be a project. It could be an idea. It could be something you wanted to solve, or it could be something that you are not practicing yet that you want to practice. It can be a subject, or the subject could be basically you. If you want to work out and get slimmer, then the subject is you. So how are you going to do it? That give a story of, okay, let's say I'm in this kg and this is what my weight machine weighs, and I'm going to come to this. That's a story too. From here to there. I mean, from here, and how am I going to go there? Give that story. Give it a structure. Give it a block by block structure. Yeah, Ashok, you can work on your, okay, you can work on your company strategy also. Anything. I mean, it's just very personal to you. Something that you want to develop on your personal level or organization level, it's all up to you. Like a comic strip, if you can, yes, Nikita, it is you. So yeah, you can do it as a comic strip also. It's totally up to you. Let's build on it. It is one story, and this story is going to be a workable story. I mean, it is not just something very imagery. It's not an apple in a plate. It is something that makes sense to you. Let's see how over the end of the day, what are we going to make? Can you share a real-time example? Okay, leadership's area, which is seen. Yes.
Quick request, maybe because right now people are drawing. So when you are answering and replying to the questions, their concentration might be away. So we can take the questions in a dedicated time then. So that I think that will help people who are drawing right now.
All right. So I'll just give them another 3 minutes. Now the time is 6:32. 6:35 we come back and we will do a small debrief about the storyboarding.
Okay.
Thank you, Piyush.
Shall I create breakout rooms, Agalya? Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted, Agalya.
Yeah, we can start creating breakout rooms also. And before which, I will just ask, this is more like a debrief that you will be talking within the team. And finally, we will have it with everyone also. in whichever breakout rooms you are, you're going to explain to your teammates what you have visualized. And I mean, what does that idea or thought or service or project or personal stuff that you made it in your story, you're just going to let them know. Just talk for a couple of minutes. Let's say, I think Piyush, we give them another 3 minutes in breakout room and then bring them back.
Okay, so right now we have 173 people. So
Okay.
I think if we make a breakout room of 3 people, then it will be good enough. Everyone can speak for around 35 seconds. Guys, don't take too much time. Like take 35 seconds, and so that everyone gets equal chance. And then we bring you back on this main dashboard after 3 minutes.
That's right. After 3 minutes, yes.
Okay, so I am trying to make a breakout room, and let's see what happens. Breakout room 1, 2, 3. Oh, so now I have to recreate. So assign 172 participants into 3 rooms. No. Kala Diwanji, I'm trying to. So.
Okay, yes, yeah. Okay, so Piyush, just start increasing the number of rooms so that the number of participants per room
50.
gets to 3.
Yes, I did 50
Right.
and per room is 3 participants now. And
Good. And just check your options. Just check your options for your time, please.
Oh, yes, right. So breakout room closes automatically after 3 minutes and countdown is 30 seconds, all the same.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you.
Now,
all the best.
and I'm recreating because earlier it was in the same setting which we tried
Yes.
to recreate.
Yes, please.
Now I'm.
Yes, please.
Also, it again changed 50. Recreate all rooms. Done. Let's go.
I didn't get to create a drawing, so
Okay.
my computer rebooted in the middle of this. So
Okay, I think we have Piyush as well here.
Piyush, hello.
Everything is working nicely?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
You're
Then
able to share something.
carry on. I'm leaving the room. I'm just
Okay.
looking in to see whether things are moving right or wrong.
I was in a separate breakout room all by myself, so I came back. Did you plan on it?
No, I didn't plan. I mean, I think the rooms are working nicely.
Okay.
Dennis is, I think, the only one because he or she joined later.
I can see a lot of people over here right now.
Yeah, even I can see Jana. Maybe they have not accepted, or maybe they are not before the computer.
Maybe manually we'll have to just share.
No, it's okay. No need to create confusion. I think they have not unassigned. It says 2.
Okay.
So I can only not
Even
join.
Simon is coming.
I'm assigning them manually. Okay.
I think Natasha, even you should work on this.
Work as in?
I mean, she has a lot of thoughts and ideas together.
That ways.
Yeah.
So now what happened? Everyone is here. Time is up for 3 minutes. Do you want to close all breakout rooms now? Yes, close now. All breakout rooms will close in 27 seconds. Okay. Cool. So
But
we are
they
very
wouldn't
confident
have
about.
gotten time.
Hmm?
I think some people did not get a chance to share only.
This is okay. It's okay.
But we will let people also share finally after metaphor is done. So it's okay. It's just a basic debrief of them. Okay, I'll start sharing my screen again.
Yes.
All right.
Did it work nicely? People, give me some chats. Oh, nice. So today we have conquered breakout rooms. Very nice.
So yeah, there was no response. Great, very nice. I think it worked. Okay. Perfect. Oh, didn't have enough time. Next time I'll give you 1 more minute more. So we'll have enough time. Okay. So thank you everyone. So I think you would have done some briefing on the storyboards that you've created. And we will definitely debrief at the end of the session also about from start to end. The second one, okay, now that you've created that story, you have created what you want, what you wish for. This is more like the creative end, okay? Remember, we saw creative strategy and analytics. This is more the creative end. We know what we want, we know what we wish for, or what we dream about, what we like. The next one here is roadmap. If storyboard is about breaking the scenes into blocks, roadmap is about breaking it into timelines. So there is a start, there is a finish. If you see my picture, it's a basic road, and I've just given days here. So 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, 90 to 120. All these days, what does it mean? Why that timeline? Let's say we need 6 months. I would want to write a novel and I want to do it in 6 months. If that is what is in my mind, I have the story already ready, because getting the story or wishing for something, that is what is important. So your story is ready. Now fix a timeline for the story. When you want to finish this? How longer? It could be even 10 years, it could be 20 years. I mean, there's no time limit. Your timeline is your timeline. It doesn't have to be, when I say 6 months, it doesn't mean it is 6 months. For you, it can be 2 years. For some, it can be 10 years. For some, it can be for what they have compartmentalized. It could even be 2 days or a day. The timeline is totally, at your discreet. 0 to 30 days, let's say if I want to write a novel, first 0 to 30 days, I would be thinking about how to put the story into a small script, like a synopsis. And 30 to 60 days, what I would be thinking is more of, giving more depth to the character that's going to be in the novel. And 60 to 90 days, I will be probably linking these characters however I want, describing them better, describing their situation better, describing the place or what they wear or how they look like much more better. So that will be my third month. That is where I will sit on work on the third month. And the fourth month, I will be totally scripting the whole thing into chapters. And maybe the fifth month, I will be editing each and every word that I've written. And finally, at the end of 6 months, the last month, I will be sending it to doing that editing and publication work, and it goes for sale. So to me, the 6 months of construct of writing a novel, if I want to write a novel and that is my story, this is the roadmap that I would give. And in your own way, how do you want to fix your own roadmaps? How do you want to break your own story or scenes into timelines, and how much time would you take it? Let's take again another two minutes or 3 minutes to do it. And for now, it is just that you are getting into an activity. It needn't be completely perfect. It's okay if you have to revise it later. For now, 2 or 3 minutes, just put that, segments of timelines in this hour of the day, or in this time I wanted to finish so much of my story, and the second part comes there, and the third, fourth. Segment them into roadmaps. Just take 3 minutes to do it. And then we will go back to the breakouts, do a little bit of briefing. If you need more time, this time we'll give 4 minutes for the breakouts, Piyush.
Yes, we'll take 1 minute per person. So 1 minute we get, and keep a note of that 1 minute. So you give others as well a chance. So 1 minute per person.
Yeah, okay.
One thing which you can do, Agalya, is when you maybe you can stop your share and then again share your screen and click on only the PPT part. So your screen is not shared, maybe because right now we can see your chat window as well.
Okay. Okay.
So when you
Okay.
click on share and then only click on the PPT part.
Okay.
You want to try again sharing, Agalya? You're muted. We still see your Zoom pop-ups. Stop share, yes. And then when you click on share, then
Yes.
it will show you many windows which are already opened on your desktop. So you can choose the PPT which is there.
Okay.
And don't share your complete screen.
Now, Piyush, could you
Mm,
still see? I just chose the PowerPoint that I'm presenting, only that.
but somehow it has some black spots. At least I can see some black spots there. I don't know why. Again, more black spots as you are moving. Try again. Try cancel the share and again try.
Yeah, like Mario game.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay, stop sharing. I'll share my screen then. If the first one looks better, let's do that.
I'm making you not a co-host then, so that you have less pop-ups.
Okay. Great. Perfect. Thank you, Piyush. Piyush, I think we'll give them one more minute and then we can put them back to the breakout rooms.
So I can start
Creating it, yes.
breakout rooms. Okay. Breakout rooms. Options. How many minutes you want? 1 minute per person, right? So I'm giving them.
Yeah, someone said they didn't have enough time. We can give 4 because we have 2 more activity to finish. We can give 4
And I'm
minutes.
keeping 60 seconds. Okay. So this is done and recreate 160 participants. 3 to 4. Okay. So recreate all the rooms and open rooms. So, Yeah, I'm calling them back because I clicked the button too quickly, Natasha. So Agalya didn't give the guidelines. Sorry, I pressed the button too quickly because Agalya didn't give the guidelines. So that's why I called you back. And now Agalya will give you the guidelines, and then I'll again put you in the break.
Yeah,
We came
exactly.
back in the main. We came back in the main room. We just-
Yeah, you are in the main living room now.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. So just 4 minutes. Each one of you can share your timeline. You've already shared the story with the same group. Now just share your timelines on how you want to go about that story. That's the basic.
But we are not in the same group.
Yeah,
It's a different group.
No, we
Okay.
got thrown away. You know, we were actually into the another room and then got admitted in this room. But we are
No,
fine.
no, no. No, what I mean is we might have to share the storyboard again, Agalya, because it's not the same group.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
that's
share
right.
the
We'll
story.
have-
Then share the storyboard also with the timeline. We'll give you 1 more minute then, so that it could be better for each of you. But this time, can we have 5 in one room, Piyush? We already have 5 in one room, I think.
3 to 4. Yeah, I'm making 50 rooms, and there are
Yeah.
150
Yeah, so we can
participants.
do
3 to 4
quickly.
rooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then pay special attention that you speak a little less and close your story and give others a chance as well. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Shall I make it now?
Agalya, do you want to do other two and then maybe move us to breakout, because that will ensure we, walk through the participants through the same participants
Because
through the.
that you're going to do finally
Oh, is it?
with
Okay.
all of us. Yes.
Oh,
This is only with your breakout rooms, and then it's going to be.
Okay.
finally.
And just to
Thank
keep
you.
the track of time, Agalya, we have 35 minutes more.
Sure.
Can we just go through the presentation? It might be better to learn it all first and then practice, because we don't have much time left.
It looks like.
Okay, is everyone here already? Then we can start. I mean, I'll also teach them all the other techniques, all the other two.
Yeah, maybe then we can push them to the breakout rooms, Agalya.
Perfect.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We're all asking no breakout rooms. There's just not enough time. Please just do the presentation. We're loving it.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So fine, we have done. If you've done with the roadmaps, the next one that you might have to do is the mental models. So in mental models, initially we started breaking things into scenes and then breaking them into timelines. Now we are breaking it into process and structure. And from a very broad view, I can compartmentalize the process and structure into 3. Not one to many. Let's say I am a head of the HR department. There are things that I might have to take care as a mental model to put process in place. It could be, recruiting new people, or it could be giving training to my internees. It could be motivating my current employees to do something much better, or have a proper infrastructure and technology in place so people can communicate what they want better. So this, or have a grievance cell. This is one that is a group of, let's say, a power to many, to a center, to everywhere. And then we have something, this is more a task-based mental model, which is 1-to-1. At the end of the month, this is the target I have to achieve. Today, I'm going to go do this. Someone was, again, even when I went to the breakout room, someone was talking about let's say, publishing a book, for which she said she has to collect stories. So here, okay, collect stories. I have to sit and write that story which comes to my mind, and I have to keep writing it. It's only one way. The second model that you see is one-way approach, whereas the first model that you see is one-to-many approach. And then comes the third one, a little complicated one, which is the interconnected approach. And these kind of models, I think all of us have seen. And in creating the roadmaps, let's say 0 to 30 days, one of these models will get applied. And 30 to 60 days, one of this model is going to get applied. You brought broke into scenes, and then you broke into timeline. And now inside that timeline, how are you going to process it? How are you going to break it? So that is what this mental model is all about. And having said that, there is one model by Peter Senge, Ladder of Inference, which I just love, and I wanted to share it with you all also. Quickly, I'm just running it in 2 minutes. First thing is, as human beings, we observe and then we select. Just like, there's a buffet laid there and we select what we wanted to eat. And then we give meaning to it. Whatever we selected, we give meaning to it. And we make assumptions based on what it means to us. And then finally, we come to a conclusion, not finally, we come to a conclusion. And based on the conclusion, we form our own beliefs. And then we act. So usually, any of the decisions that we make has these inferences, either to start with or to conclude. And to go one by one, when we observe data and experience. So let's say in this COVID, so many people are dying and so many people have survived it. And so many people are immune, not immune, everything is data. But when it is happening to people we know, or one relative of us, or one in our family, that becomes an experience. It's more sentimental and emotional. So what we observe is varied. And when it comes to experience, we have a selective data that is set. And as individuals, we select from what we observe. And giving meaning to those selected data. So we start giving meaning to those selected data based on our experience, based on what other people talk. And we create our assumptions based on what meaning it created. Finally, we conclude and come to an assumption, this is what it is, and we adopt that belief. And here is usually where we go in, let's say, a loop to observe before we act, because beliefs can be changed. When you act, you cannot go back and change certain things. But when you believe, it is just you and you believing. When you act, it's kind of given to everyone. So you may not able to. So belief and observation is a loop where it comes on and on. Let's say I observe someone keep coming late to office, and I have a selective data here, and I think he's a latecomer. The meaning that I would apply to it is he's more a person who's not very who doesn't enjoy job that much, or who's not much into it, and I assume he's not a responsible person. As a conclusion, I will call him, I will think of him as a irresponsible person, and the belief that I will go to is I will not get any work done from him. But that is the belief I went to. But going back, if I have to observe, maybe he is coming late every day because he's meeting a client and coming. Maybe he has some personal work that officially is being admitted to come back. Belief to observe just keeps happening and it keeps changing. The one example that I gave, the minute, let's say this guy is coming late because he's meeting client every morning, which means he's starting the day even before you, the whole process of this changes. The whole process of what I had before changes, and then you act. And in a leadership model, this is something which I love talking about everywhere, ladder of inference. This is a mental model, and this is not one-to-one or many-to-one or interconnected. This is more like how your beliefs are made and doesn't have a structure. And this each, when you observe or select or make meaning, everything goes to the process and structure that we already spoke about. And moving on to the next one, initially we saw how storyboarding is done, given timelines to it, how each of the timelines has to be processed, and finally the metaphor. Metaphor is a storyboarding also, but only that it just doesn't deal with what I wanted to do. It deals with something that is what is my dream going to be. It doesn't deal with what I'm going to do in 6 months. It's going to deal with something what I'm going to do for my lifetime. It will have all the factors in it. It will have value. It will have a lot of value in it because it is important to me. And I think this value will also resonate with other people. A metaphor is not just contained. It is contained within you. But when you express it, it's going to be accepted by the whole group because somewhere it is too right to come into picture. It's a belief, as we already spoke. It's a belief that we just resonate to, and as a group also we resonate to. It helps us build vision. And metaphor is a bigger story. It's a bigger picture, like what we saw, how leadership and visualization are connected. This is the most bigger vision building, and this cannot be done in a day or two. I took like 4 months to do my own metaphor for life. Something, I'm usually connected with nature, so something that I am in the down of the hill and I have to go up to the flag. How do I actually go there? What is this? Is if this is my story, then where is my roadmap? What is that? What is that process that I'm going to apply from each roadmap? Let's say this is my first spot, this is my second spot, this is my third, this is my fourth, and this is my fifth, and this is my sixth. I get here. How am I going to process this? What is my mental model in each of the spaces? And the other metaphor that I love is this. There is a boat. I'm a sailor. I'm taking this boat, and it has my people, and I know where I have to anchor it. There is defense mechanism also. We are all in an ocean, and there is a lighthouse that I'm looking at. I want to reach there. I want to take my people there. This is a different kind of metaphor. Initially, in the hill thing that you saw, this is me here. I want to go there. How do I do it? But the other metaphor that you're looking, it's more emotional. It's grounded with the people around you. You're not the only voyager. You are having people around you, and you have things to do where it means to them also, and that is why they are sailing with you. And something that I've not mentioned here is there could be even sharks in this ocean that you're not aware of. Like it could be your fear, or it could be barrier. There can be icebergs in this ocean that when you see it, it's not very clear, but it might ruin your whole voyage together. And how am I going to go to that lighthouse? So how big you want to create a metaphor? It could be as simple as from here to there, like we initially saw a roadmap. So metaphors give meaning. From storyboarding comes metaphor. And road mapping and mental models give you a certain perspective in getting there. So this is what the whole thing is about. Now, if you want together make the whole picture of mental model put into it, it needn't be perfect, but just give it a structure, basic structure. So later after the session or sometime when you are free or when you find time, you can always go back and sit working on it. So yeah, let's get back to that activity. Let's take another 5 minutes. And this time we're not going to the breakout. Let's take 5 minutes and put that big picture in place. If you have mental model right now, if you have a process or structure in your mind, start creating them also in between these metaphors. If you already have a vision, great. You know, say where that vision is. To me, vision is a lighthouse, or to me, vision is a flag, or to me, vision is that horizon where the sun is there. Could be anything. And not necessarily you have to link with nature. You can also link with many things. It could be you driving a car, going on a road, or anything. Even if it is something mechanical, it's still fine. As much as it resonates with you, your metaphor is good to go.
A quick suggestion from my side, adding to Agalia's point, is that if some of you are actually thinking in your mind and thinking that, yeah, this is, but actually pick up your pen and draw. So, you know, actually draw it, and you will see that your thoughts are more concrete then.
And if you can't put it in picture, please put it in clouds or write it down. It's still fine. Let's take another minute to put it down. And you may not completely complete it just today because it's 1 hour and it's too much of content to process. But just have it in mind that what the structure things fall under. And we will be, I think there are a lot of questions about forming the mental model. We'll go specifically into what each one has. So we will figure out how to create a mental model. I think everyone, let's come back and yes. So most of you have problems in identifying mental models. If I would be able to understand the story or your metaphor better, I'd be able to explain it. Can someone unmute you who have questions? Could you raise your hand? So Piyush can unmute you and we can start taking questions.
They can unmute themselves.
One by one. Yes. Anyone? Yes.
Maybe you could give an example.
Okay. Okay. Example of what? Example of?
I saw Deepak was putting his sample up, so I didn't want to ask anymore. So I'll wait for him.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. Go on, Tina. Let me know your question.
Deepak, I have put Deepak in spotlight. Deepak, if you
yeah,
want.
I saw it. It's an elephant with a lot of people. I think, yeah.
It's a model on
blind man
radiation detection.
Okay.
Yes, I love that parable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, okay. Someone has shared their screen. Sudhanshu Jain. Nice. Thank you, Sudhanshu.
You can close your screen share, Sudhanshu.
Yeah, close your screen share and let's start taking questions. Let's not waste time. We have another 15 minutes. What kind of problems do you have when you construct mental models? Because mental models and metaphors are very personal. Story, you can do it because stories are based on what you wish for and you can easily come to it. And timelines you can give at least tentatively, approximately. But when it comes to mental model, that's where you get seriously into a problem or seriously into the task of creating what you want. So where exactly? Yeah, Tina, you started it, but I was not able to hear you better. If you can go, start it.
Yes, okay, so yes, thank you. I was saying, because I was also reading the group chat, and I think that for me, I always try to think of simple shapes because I love word association and visual association. So sometimes they shouldn't really worry so much about the setting, but maybe like you started with that simple apple to tell your story. And then from that simple object, it could weave into something more. So when you did that, that was clear and easy. So I chose an ice cream cone as my starting point and then built from there. So maybe that would probably be the task for everybody to think about what they can easily doodle and then do mental associations with that to put it in a setting and a context and come full circle around to what something more sophisticated or complex they could make out of it.
That's a very good suggestion. That's a very good suggestion. Thank you, Tina. Thanks a lot. Anyone want to share your thoughts or, anywhere that you think you're kind of blocked? Because metaphor is a huge thing. Definitely can't be done in one. And I mean, not in the chat. Maybe you can just come vocal, talk. You can unmute yourself. Let's hear you. Maybe your question and others' question could also be same. Let's do this. Mental model helps you to understand. Tim has given the suggestion. Mental model helps you to understand your thinking as an individual or as a group or community. The iceberg is another good example of values below the surface. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for another perspective. Thank you.
Hi. I'm going to say something because I was reading the chat, and probably the example that you could give us is the same example with a metaphor and a mental model. For example, in the chat said, publishing a book, how could be an example, and how could be an example of a metaphor using the same example. I think it could be better for everyone to see the difference.
To me, let's say for publishing a book itself is a metaphor for me. You know, have a complete big book, have them in leaves. What is the first process? What is your first page like? Chapter 1, this is my process. Chapter 2, this is my process. Go accordingly. It could even be a timeline, and your process can get into it also. So book itself is a very good metaphor. If publishing your book just, you know, it needn't be the same. It just came to me. It resonates well with me, so I'm talking. And mental models are pretty much, if you are doing a book and you're publishing a book and you're going to show it to anyone, it actually is something that people can relate to also when you're talking about it. You know, your co-author or your editor or your publisher, anyone can relate to it. Your group, your team can relate to it. So that is what I would suggest. And mental model actually is, you know, a little bit complicated, definitely. But it has to go with you because someone is not even ready with the story. So in order to which they have to get the story in the first place. And second is how they wanted to give characterization to that particular people in the story. And then giving them, like I said, giving them an environment and then editing it and then having an editor for it and a publisher for it, finding a market. All that comes under, you know, a metaphor. Metaphor sees a comparatively bigger picture. Storyboard is a very simplified wish, I would say. I wish for this, but when I keep it a metaphor, it is a workable picture out there. It is just not my wish or dream. It is something that is doable. Yeah. Anyone else? Any question?
Agalya, this is Rajendra here. I just want to, you know, first of all, when you mentioned about the story, so I'm just trying to understand the difference between the metaphor and the story building. When you say you bring the roadmap, you are saying that bring all the actions with the timelines when it comes to roadmap. Is my understanding correct? Okay.
Roadmap needn't be just in road. That is also, you know, I gave you a road because I just fixed with it and I think it's easy to, you know, explain it to you all. But those roadmaps can even be just flags or posts or milestones or anything for that matter. Yeah.
Got it. So anything got to do with the timeline is something that you mentioned about that. Moment I lived the same example and put it in the metaphor, there you are saying what values, what dream you are going to communicate. There you will drop the timelines and you will speak larger picture. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yes, you're completely correct. This timeline could be just, you know, related to one process. Timeline is, I mean, metaphor is bigger. And all the storyboarding, mental model, and roadmaps fall into segments in that. And there can be n many roadmaps, there can be n many mental models or stories.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else who want to unmute and just...
Yeah. Hi, Agalya. This is Mridula. Yeah. Hi. I wanted to. Can I just show you what is there? What I've drawn in the metaphor, and from the storyboard.
Yes.
Like how is it different? So this is it visible?
Actually, I can't see you.
We can't see you, Mridula.
Oh, I have started my video. I don't know why.
It's going blank.
Maybe you have a manual. You have covered your camera, maybe.
No. Am I?
Now I can see you. Yes, go on.
Yeah. So this was my. Is it visible?
Just bring a little bit behind. A little bit behind, and in the center. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Yes. So this was my storyboard. I started with diet, exercise, knowledge, sleep, and all. And I now came to roadmap. I wrote it down. I didn't understand how to do it. And then a mental model and all, I couldn't just I just noted down whatever you said. But this is what I had drawn with respect to this metaphor.
Okay.
So I don't I'm not able to distinguish between my storyboard and my metaphor. I've tried to put up, like, this is me, and either I can go wrong by by being indisciplined, or having self doubt or all and all. But if I follow these paths, like discipline, patience, positive attitude, I can have this superpower to achieve my dream.
So is your
And
metaphor connecting to your storyboard, Mridula? Is your metaphor, whatever you've written in your metaphor, is it connecting to
yeah.
the story? That is what is important. Storyboards, like I said, are smaller chunks, and most of the storyboards put together or other things put together bring that metaphor. So you can, if you can be very specific with your question, I can answer you. Are you saying it is not related, or it's two different things?
Yeah, so it is like, to achieve this, it's like more of an attitude that I've shown over here. So
Yeah.
Is it okay, or it has to include a lot more? Because I read in chat that it is more of like visual SWOT analysis. So I understand
You can say
SWOT,
that.
and I tried doing that, but I couldn't understand, like, what could be my weakness, what could be my strength. uh yeah, so
Visual
it was
SWOT.
kind of confusing for me.
Visual SWOT may be, somewhere related, you're up there, but I wouldn't give it 100%, because where is that passion? You're not just considering the strength, weakness, and opportunity threat, but where is that passion that you're putting in? Okay, when you say that is my dream, I read the word dream, and the dream has too many things, or what I shouldn't do and what I should do. Am I right when I saw it? So what I should do, how are you going to connect that, what I should do, into the roadmap? Okay, that what you should do is related to your storyboard, actually. Yeah, what you should do is related to your storyboarding. And now bring that storyboard and break them into roadmaps. Roadmaps, in sense, break them into timelines. That's a better way of saying it. Break them into timelines, and further break them into processes. How are you exactly going to do it? Your roadmap is when you're going to do it, whereas your mental model is how exactly are you going to do it.
The processes, yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Just to remind, we have 5 minutes, Agalya.
Yeah, thank you, Piyush. I can take like 3 or 4 more questions, or is there anything in the chat already, Piyush, that I should answer?
So I think honoring the time, it will be best if you guys can reach out to Agalya on her LinkedIn. I have already shared it on the WhatsApp group. So there you can, of course, ask Agalya all the questions. Is it okay? Fine with you, Agalya?
That's totally fine with me. Or I will just share my screen, and I'll just give them.
Yeah, take a picture of her contacts.
Yeah, that's better. That's better. This is better. So these are my contacts. You can actually reach out to me if in case you have any questions around these. And I would also suggest, just like these content, there are going to be other 8 content, or 7 or 8 content that's going to talk about template, that is going to talk about roadmap and more. So if you're not very clear here, I think for the next 1 week, after a week, you will definitely get some clarity, because we will be touching upon one or the other issue that is spoken today. I'm very sure about it. But if there is any question that I have to answer right away, I can take it.
Sure.
Agalya, I have something to share.
Yes.
This is Suma here. Hi there. I just wanted to suggest if you can share the presentation as well as the notes associated with it, the books that you may want to refer to at the end of every session, so that we can recap immediately. Sharing it after 10 days would be a little bit of a load on our mind.
Okay.
I definitely want to learn whatever I have, learned from you today to more detail.
So inputs to be shared. I'll just make a note of it. We will discuss within our team on how we can do it. Okay.
It's like a recap, today's sessions, what you may want to refer to, and a summary of it. If you want, you can share the slide deck as well. That's perfectly fine in a PDF format or whatever it is, if you can't share the recording.
So we have a very special thing on exactly this. Let me share this with you, and I'll invite Nitasha for this, but not right now. Before that, I'm sharing a link with you on the chat. Can you take exactly like 1 minute? It will not take you more than 1 minute to fill this form. This really helps us as speakers and organizers to know where we are going right and wrong. So just take 1 minute to fill this. I'm sharing a Google form link again. Fill this, and then I'll come back to you, because Nitasha, who is our co-organizer, has actually summarized it in a very visual format, and you will see this is a pure example of live scribing or graphic recording, and we'll show you this. But first, click on this form and please give feedback.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. These are very simple questions. You'll not take more than 15 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
So this was one. The second announcement to all of you is that a lot of you are also live scribing right now. So if you are live scribing, then again, I'm reminding you that you let me share this. No, yeah. So you have to hashtag us on Visuals at Work, or tag us on Visuals at Work Bootcamp, and then we will be able to know what you have drawn. Or if you want to share it with everyone, then I'm sharing a link of a Facebook group which you can use. 1 second. So share this here, and you will be able to see other colleagues as well there. So this is the Facebook group. The Facebook group name is Visual Storytelling at Work, where you can share your live scribe. But right now, Nitasha, can you come on the camera and share your iPad, so we know what you have drawn? Nitasha, you are there? But till the time Nitasha comes, I want to thank you, Agalya. Agalya, fabulous.
I'm there.
We loved it, and the way you
I can't show.
Metaphors and storytelling, fabulous. I loved it personally. Being in this explanation was very nice. And as Agalya already told, that there'll be more speakers, and they will be touching upon so many aspects. And then after 10 days, you'll be able to completely make a whole a whole learning out of it. Then you will know that what you have learned from every speaker, and then you will combine it and come up with your own outputs. Nitasha, are you there now?
Happy?
Ah, yes.
Wow, I love me. I love myself. Thank you. Thank you.
And she has summarized everything which Agalya has shared. And this we'll be sharing with you all on the WhatsApp group. Yeah?
Yes.
Before we leave, I have to announce tomorrow's session as well, because tomorrow is a special one. And why it is special? Because of this. Can everyone see my screen?
Oh, we have William tomorrow.
We have Wilhelmine, who is the author of 2 amazing books called Visual Thinking and Visual Doing, in which she has explained how exactly you can draw. But tomorrow's session, she will be actually helping you to draw small objects, icons, and metaphors. And she will also be talking about collaborative tools, because in these days, we are all working online. We are not working in front of each other where we have pens and papers, but we are working online. And she will be talking about various collaborative tools in which many people at one time can draw or can slide, put post-its, so you can work in a collaborative environment. Super.
Thank you. Thank you.
Other announcements are recordings will be shared with everyone. What we commit is we'll be sharing the recording after 10 days. This is my commitment. But because we are doing it every day, so don't expect that I'll be giving you every day the recordings. I will try my best. I will right now upload it somewhere and then share the links. But my commitment is that I'll be sharing it after 10 days, because I'm getting a lot of personalized WhatsApp on the same question, and too many messages then. So recordings all after 10 days, and you will get the recordings. Cool.
Okay.
So, thank you all for joining today. And
thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot. We are looking for you tomorrow. And thanks for being so kind to me. I'm seeing this. Thank you all.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Oh, we didn't do a picture. Oh, guys, before we go, open your cameras, please. Numbers are reducing. Hold on. Open your cameras. We will do a quick group picture. And the rule is we have a special symbol of Visuals at Work. So this is visual, this is at, this becomes an at, and this is W. So visuals at work. If you can all do like this and show it on the camera, I'll take a quick screenshot. So yeah, visuals at work, and you can make some sounds as well. This is the time when we can all open our mics and shout. So I have.
Yay!
Yay! I'll put a music. No, I can't.
You can be more playful tomorrow onwards. You can bring your hats or anything else which you have. So be funny. Bring it everything on here on this boot camp. So yeah, feel free. Bring the child in you.
I have Julius Caesar with me.
You have the power with you then.
With the stabbing behind him, you know.
Oh, I like that. Where did you get that? I need one.
Okay.
Nice.
They're actually selling those in US with Trump instead of.
Oh. Okay, pun intended.
We are getting into dangerous zone. Okay,
yeah,
bye.
I think so. Bye, Ashok.
I think this group has already become a family. So after this boot camp as well, we will keep on having small jams, and we keep on meeting, and then we'll have casual talks as well, because I'm already liking this group. Super nice. We'll see you all tomorrow then.
See you all same time.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.